Today we have the B&O Beoplay E8 2.0s and Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless Earbuds. And we're going to put them against each other in these areas so that you can see which one's going to work better for you and ultimately if it's worth getting. What's up friends, I'm Mike again. Welcome back to another tech review where I find awesome things to simplify your life. And today I know we have a lot to cover. It's going to be a long video, so for your convenience I put everything in the timestamps below so you can skip to the parts that matter most to you. And also we're getting into Samsung Galaxy Earbuds in for review next week as well. So if this video has helped you in any way at all and you want to see more, like, subscribe, and turn that notification on to get the latest updates about my channel from YouTube. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So first of all, we're going to compare the sound quality of these. And I know this is going to be a subjective topic because we all like different kinds of sounds and we all like different kinds of music. But for me, after testing these two for hours, comparing them one after another and taking them out with me when I'm driving, commuting, and biking, I really found that both of these will give you a rich, full-body, crisp sound. You won't be disappointed with either of these. But when you do have to compare both of these, I would give the advantage to the Sennys. With the B&O E8s, the bass is nice, but to get it somewhere close to Sennheiser's, you really have to go in the in-app equalizer and put it all the way up there. And even at that point, it couldn't really reach what the Sennheisers could do. And also when the EQ is up there in the warm section, it kind of clouds the details. So at this price, I wasn't really impressed with it. But with the Sennys, the bass is actually strong enough to actually vibrate in your ear and give you that really immersive feel, while not drowning out the details. So when I play bass heavy songs or rock and stuff, the arrangements are super busy, there's a lot going on, but you can still hear all the little things. I can still hear the hi-hats very clearly, all the little effects, and you know those times when you hear things on the side, on the back, or like somewhere over here, and you're like, what the hell was that? Or those times when you discover new sounds in your favorite songs. That's what the Sennys do for me. The mids and high are clean and crisp in both of these, but I do have to mention that the treble in the B&Os are a bit harsh. Sometimes in my music it was actually like crackling, but once I adjusted the EQ a bit, the crackling was gone. But with the Sennys, I think there is a larger soundstage, and the clarity that it has just really brings out the fuller details in vocals, and especially the music separation in instrumentals. And because of that, I do hear a bit more dynamics in the Sennys, and it really creates an immersive feel where I can really experience and enjoy my music. So don't get me wrong, the B&O still delivers a rich and balanced sound, but when you're playing with the EQ, it really feels like you're trading bass for details. So if I had to rate the sound quality out of 10 in true wireless earbuds, I would give the Sennys a 9.0 to a 9.3 and the B&Os at a 8.4 to a 8.6. And as you know, if you want to configure the sounds a bit more, there is an app for both of these. So in my experience of using the app, I would have to say that both of these have trouble connecting to the app, even though the earbuds are connected to the phone already. So you just have to play around with it, and after it connects, you have the equalizer for your use. They both make a huge difference in sounds when you use it. It's not a gimmick at all versus the cheaper earbuds. But I think the big difference is that the Sennheisers actually save the EQ in your earbuds versus the B&Os, it doesn't save it in the earbuds. Every time that I connect it to my phone, it takes like 5 seconds for it to recognize that EQ setting and apply it to the earbuds again. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing to note. Anyways, both of these earbuds use a very tight seal around your ear canal so that it gives you a good sound quality. And because of that, it uses passive noise isolation. It blocks some of the ambient sound. You can still hear all the bus sounds, all the commuting sounds, and even people talking. But when you increase the volume a bit, those sounds naturally disappear. If you do want to hear the external sounds and be aware of your surroundings, both of these do have the hear-through features, where it uses the mic to replicate what's outside. I think it's a very important feature for you because if you're walking home at night, you can detect if someone's creeping on you, you know? And also when you're outside, you just don't want to get hit by a car, or it's just simply useful because you don't have to take your earbuds off when you're talking to people, like when you're ordering coffee or food. But anyways, the Sennys again win in this category because it has one of the most natural hear-through features that I've ever heard before. It literally feels like it's letting the sound just pass right through the earbud into your ear. There's no hissing or white noise sound at all. But with the B&Os, instead of letting sound through the earbuds, it actually amplifies what's outside. So you get a really tinny, really like robot voice-ish sound out of this. It's kind of cool because I can hear like what the other person is saying over there in the food court kind of thing. But in the app, what it actually does is that it gives you a range of how much transparency there is, and you get a choice of 4 presets at 0, 33, 66, and 100. At 100, it actually pauses your music so nothing plays. At 66 and 33, it lowers your music volume to that point. But I did find that the music quality actually suffers a lot because it applies that tinny kind of microphone sound to the music as well. So I didn't find that experience to be too good. And also when you're running with these, this will have a lot more wind noise when you use the hear-through feature, and because of that, I actually turn it off. With the Sennheiser, you do get a bit of wind noise as well, but it's not enough for me to turn it off. And this might really just be a preference, but in this case, the Sennheisers work a lot better for me in this category. And next up, we have the connection quality of both of these. With the Sennheiser, it uses Bluetooth 5.0, which is supposed to give you a greater connection strength, a greater range, and more speed. And this uses Bluetooth 4.2. But even though it uses an older tech, both of these are very reliable in connection quality. I've never had dropouts, and when I watch movies, Netflix, or YouTube with both of these, there's no lag at all the lips and graphics are synced perfectly, and I also edited my previous video with both of these. So it works very well, and it actually replaced me using like headphones like this when I'm video editing. So an advantage with the Sennheiser is that when you take it out of the case, it will connect right away with your previous device, versus the B&Os, when you take it out of the case, you actually have to tap it twice to turn it on, and then wait for it to connect to your device. And also, the Sennheisers do support aptX and aptX low latency, which means if you have a device that supports that as well, you can stream the highest quality music to these with virtually no lag at all. Versus the B&Os, which just support AAC. So the sound and the tech in the Sennheisers are a bit more future-proofed. However, a big win in the B&Os is that it actually supports simultaneous Bluetooth pairing. So you can connect to two devices at the same time, and this works really well if you're using this for calls, because you can connect it to your computer and your phone at the same time. So if you get a call while watching a video on your computer, you can just pause the video on your computer and switch to your phone right away without messing with the Bluetooth setting, and it just works seamlessly. Versus the Sennheisers, they don't do that. So if you use multiple devices and switch in between them a lot, the B&Os are gonna work a lot better for you. Anyways, talking about calls, the microphones in the Sennheisers actually support voice isolation, which means that it focuses on your voice versus the environment. But with the B&Os, there's nothing really specified in that, but it has a mic. So the best way to show you this is through a call quality test. Hey guys, so we're trying to emulate a coffee shop background environment using my speaker here, and right now you're listening to my camera mic, which is the Zoom H4n Pro. So when we switch to these, so right now we're using the B&Os right here in my ear. How does it sound? Is it isolating my voice well? And again, this is the B&O E8 2.0. And of course, we have my trusty fan over here for some wind noise. So let's see how that sounds. Do you hear a lot of fluttering sounds? Is it isolating my voice well? Again, this is the B&O E8 2.0. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And right now, we're going to switch over to the Sennheisers. Now we have the Momentum True Wireless in my ears, and this is what it sounds like. I think this isolates the voice a bit better in my opinion. And again, this is Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless Earbuds, and we have our fan yet again. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is it still isolating my voice from the environment? Do you hear a lot of fluttering sounds, or can you hear me at all? So guys, how is that compared to the B&Os? Comment below. Anyways, the next part is that we're gonna go into the build quality of these. We're gonna start with the earbuds first and then the case itself. So with the earbuds themselves, both of these are made of plastic, but they do not feel cheap at all. The B&Os have this matte finish around the earbud that makes it a bit more grippy, but in actual use, I didn't really find a difference. And they both have a very stylish and sleek design. So I know you guys care about what it looks like. The B&Os are a bit smaller, so it doesn't stick out as much, but this isn't much anyways compared to the Bose Sound Sport 3. So I'm gonna put them side by side while I'm turning my head so you can tell me which one looks better and comment below. And although looks are important, what's more important is the comfort and the fit. I do have to say that because the B&Os are a bit smaller, it doesn't really hinge onto anything in my ear. It just fits itself inside the ear canal, and that's the only thing kind of supporting it. It's like free-floating my ear. Versus the Sennheisers, they're big enough and it hinges on the top part over here, so I do feel this is more secure. But in terms of comfort, after watching hours of Netflix one after the other, and I mean, doing these tests give me the excuse to do that, so I'm not addicted. Anyways, they're both really comfortable. I didn't feel any ear fatigue at all because you don't need to push the ear tips all the way into your ear canal. It just sits on the outside. And also they're light enough so that you don't really feel them while they're in your ear. So you don't have to worry about that. They're both very comfortable. But which one is more secure? Here's the shake test. So I got the B&Os here, Sennheisers, and go. So they're both quite secure. But now I'm really gonna try to shake sideways and see which one falls out. Oh my god. So the B&Os did fall out first, and I'm gonna try the other ears. Oh my gosh. Yep, the B&Os fell out first. But I do have to know that I was shaking really hard and really forcing these out. So I think that when they're in your ear for when you're working out, walking around, it's really not gonna fall out. But I do think the Sennheisers are better for sports because it's rated at IPX4. So for light rain and sweating and stuff, it's gonna be A-okay. Versus this, it's splash and dust resistant. They didn't really specify the water resistance rating. And I don't think they're specifically designed for sports. But for myself, I use both of these while I was biking and running. So I think that light sweat and light rain would be A-okay. But if you're facing heavier rain or like if you're drenched in sweat, I really wouldn't want to risk damaging the B&Os here. So overall, the Sennheiser are going to give you a bit better fit, and it's going to be more versatile and durable enough for you to work out with it versus the B&Os. And the last thing I have to mention about the earbuds is the user experience with the touch controls. I'm very impressed with the B&Os. It's very natural and it registers my tap commands very accurately. And with the Sennheisers, it doesn't always register all my taps, so when I do a double tap, it kind of misses one and I just have to keep doing it until it works, which can be a bit annoying. So as you can see on the screen, here are the touch controls. I find it really useful that the hear through and the play button is only one tap on each earbud to reduce the number of tapping that you have to do. And the biggest difference of all is that when you press and hold on your right earbud to increase your volume and press and hold on your left to decrease your volume, the increase or decrease on the Sennheisers go a lot faster, so it's really hard to control what volume you want to stop at. Versus the B&O, it goes at smaller increments, so it's a very gradual change. And because of that, you get a lot more precise volume control. And I think this might be the first time that I really like the touch controls more than the hardware buttons on these. So B&O, you converted me this time, and that's saying a lot. And finally, we're gonna go over the build quality of the cases. Right off the bat, I'm gonna have to give the win to the B&Os because it feels more premium and it has a better battery life. But with both of these, it doesn't feel cheap at all. They both secure the earbuds themselves using magnets, so when you do this, it doesn't fall out. So it's very secure, and it uses magnets to open and close the case as well, so it gives it a very nice click to it. The Sennheiser uses a cloth material here and the B&O uses a leather material here. It's really a preference, but I like the leather more. And also the B&O case is smaller than the Sennheisers in height and in width as well. So when you put it in your pocket, this is a bit more comfortable. It's actually very close to what the Master & Dynamics have, but it's a bit taller. And on the inside, it has an aluminum finish versus this only has a plastic finish. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's the little things that count. And they both use USB Type-C on the back to charge with, which is definitely a standard in 2019, so good job guys. And when you put the earbuds in, there's a battery indicator on the back that you can see what the charge is at, but I do have to give the win to the B&Os because it gives you a little bit more information, and it also has this light at the front that kind of glows and breathes, and I just think that little light is really nice. And talking about battery life of both of these, each charge in the earbuds can give you 4 hours of use, and by putting it back in the case, the B&O will give you 3 extra charges, while this only gives you 2. So the win in battery goes to the B&Os, and also because the Sennheiser actually have a battery draining issue, because when you put the earbuds in the case, it actually never turns off. It's always on standby mode. It's always going to be draining battery from the case, and that means that even if you don't use it, you're still going to have to charge it. But in my experience, it's not really that big of an issue, but in some situations, I just find myself being like what the heck? There's only like 30 or 50% left in here. I just charged it like a few days ago. And I do know a lot of people using this have the same experience as well and they're fed up with it, but until the firmware update comes to fix this, you're gonna have to deal with it. And the last advantage that this case has is its wireless charging capability. So you can be truly wireless without this. You just place it on a wireless charger and boom, it works perfectly. But B&O actually didn't include a charging pad. It's sold separately. So if you don't have one already, you're gonna have to spend another 20 or 50 bucks buying one. And in real life experience, I don't think that wireless charging is necessary. The USB Type-C is good enough for me, but if you want to be more future-proofed, this is it. So after all of that, is it worth it? Should you get it? Which one's better? For myself, music really helps me relax and really helps me get in the flow when I work. So I'll place around 70% of the value in the sound, and really the 30%, everything else is just a bonus to me. The Sennheisers definitely sound a lot better to me, and it undeniably has a better hear-through feature, which is very important to me when I'm commuting, driving, and biking. So if I had to choose again, I would still buy the Sennheisers and not the B&O. When it comes down to it with B&O, I do think you're paying a premium for the overall design and the case itself, because they sell the case without the earbuds for $200. So if you're telling me the earbuds are only worth $150, then yeah, I can understand that. But at this price, at this whole package, which doesn't even include the wireless charger, No, I just don't find it worth it at all at this price. And in fact, I do think that these earbuds are a very expensive version of the Jabra 65Ts, which I think you'll find a lot more value in. So if you don't care about sound that much, then these will do you a lot better. But I mean, if you don't care about sound, why are you watching this video at all? And at $350, I did expect top-notch quality, and I really wish that this was better than this in sound, but it just didn't do it for me. But I mean, if I got this as a present and this was my only pair of earbuds, I wouldn't complain at all or even think of getting the Sennheisers, you know? Overall, when you're comparing the two, you can see that the Sennies are bigger, uglier, inconvenient, and the battery sucks. But it does one thing really, really well, which is the sound quality. So if you can live with some of its flaws, which might get fixed in a future firmware update, but there's nothing to show for that yet, you're gonna get the absolute best sounding true wireless earbuds right now. But if you can't handle the flaws and the battery issues, the B&Os would definitely be my next choice because it's good in the build quality, user experience, and just almost every other aspect except sound. So really it's a personal preference. I value sound above everything else, but comment below, let me know which one you guys would choose, and I really hope I explained things well in detail today so that you guys got what you needed out of this video. Ask away if you have any questions at all, I'd love to help. And also, we're getting in the Samsung Galaxy earbuds in for review next week, so if you want to see more, like and subscribe to support the channel and turn that notification on so that YouTube will send you my latest updates. And that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! And just in case you're wondering about the comparison between these two, the bass on the MW07s is a bit more impressive than the B&Os, the mids and the highs is around the same, but with this you get a bit more battery life, it's secured using magnets, and overall it feels a bit more premium, so I'm leaning kind of towards this than this, because the difference in sound is really marginal, and this has the app where you can configure and choose the sound that you like the most, versus this, it just comes as it is. But this is gonna cost you a bit more, but this looks good. They're both very premium, but this gives me a more secure fit. This has the hear-through feature, so it really depends on what you're looking for here. I think these are harder to choose between than the Sennheisers themselves, so when comparing this, it's really a preference of looks and what you like. Hope that helps!